Hello. Well, during the week, we have been reviewing the simple present, present continuous, and the simple past. So now we're going to have like a quick review of all of them together, just to kind of remember what we have been seeing during the week, and so we can tell the difference between them. So first, let's start with the simple present. So the simple present is for routines and for things that happen regularly. Here we have some examples. We have she cooks food for her friends. Remember that when it's he, she, or it, we have to add an S when it's affirmative in simple present. We have to add an S or an ES or an IES depending on what the verb is. So here with cook, we just add an S and it would be she cooks food for her friends. Now in negative, that same sentence, it would be she doesn't cook food for her friends. Here, negative, we add the auxiliary and the not. So it'd be she does not, or the doesn't. She doesn't cook food for her friends. Remember that we don't put an S after the with the verb after the verb because the does here the S is already there, so we don't need another S there. So we just she doesn't cook food for her friends. The third one says, does she cook food for her friends? That's a question. In the question, we first put the auxiliary and then the person or the subject, the verb with no S, even if it's he, she, or it, because the S is already here, and just the complement, right? Does she cook food for her friends? Question mark. And when we have we or all the other ones that are not he, she, or it, we don't add the S. So we have we cook food for our friends. We cook food for our friends. That's correct. Then if we want negative and it's we or they, whichever one, it would be we don't cook food for our friends. The auxiliary when it's do, because the S is only for he, she, and it, remember? So this one would be do. We do not cook food for our friends, the not for negative, or we don't cook food for our friends. And the last one we have is a question. Do we cook food for our friends? We start with the auxiliary, then the subject, the verb, normal, then food for our friends. There, that would be the simple present. But what about the present continuous? So the present continuous is for actions that are happening right now at this moment. So here we have some other examples. I am washing the dishes. Let's pretend that I'm washing the dishes. So let's say I am washing the dishes. That's affirmative, but negative. And the truth right now is that I'm not washing the dishes. I'm not. So just for negative, we are add the not in the middle of the verb to be and the verb with ing. I am not washing the dishes. In the question, we start with the verb to be. Am I washing the dishes? Am I washing the dishes? And remember that we can also add WH if we want to ask some other different types of questions. And here's another example. Well, with another person, but the same example. It's he's wearing his favorite, no, different example. He's wearing his favorite jeans. He's wearing his favorite jeans. So this means he is. he is wearing his favorite jeans. The contraction is his. And if we want to make it negative, it would be he isn't wearing his favorite jeans. We have to add the not in between. He is not wearing his favorite jeans, or here we have the contraction isn't. He isn't wearing his favorite jeans. And the question would be, is he wearing his favorite jeans? Here we have first the verb to be, then the subject, then the verb with the ing, and the complement. Is he wearing his favorite jeans? And remember that we can add WH to change the question. We could also put like, why is he wearing his favorite jeans? Why? If we want to know the reason. Or any other WH question, we could like add them at the beginning to make different questions. Then we have the simple past. The simple past is for actions that finished in the past. So for example, we can say, so as I was saying, the simple past is for actions that finished in the past. So for example, we can say, I felt sad yesterday. Or in negative, it would be, I didn't feel sad yesterday. For this one, the simple past, the auxiliary for all of the people like I, he, she, all of them, it's did. So it would be, I felt sad yesterday. The simple past would be, I didn't. The negative would be, I didn't feel sad yesterday. We just add did not, the auxiliary and not, to make it negative. But what about questions? For questions, we start with the auxiliary did, then the person, the verb, like normal, don't change it to past because did is already in past, so we don't need it. And then the complement, sad yesterday. So it would be, did I feel sad yesterday? Now, the next one, the next example says, she wrote a message last week. Here, in the affirmative, we have to change it to the past, depending on if it's a regular or regular verb is how we change it, but it has to be in past, the verb. So she wrote a message last week when it's affirmative, but when it's negative, we only add the did and the not. So she didn't write a message last week. And when it's a question, we start with the auxiliary. So did they write a message last week? That would be the question. So now here I have two exercises. Let's see if, yeah, you can see it. The first one says, I am tea right now. So would it be I am drink tea now? I am drank tea now, or I am drinking tea now? What do you think? So the answer for this one would be I am drinking tea now. So first of all, we know this because it says now, so like right now in this moment. And also because it starts with am. And if you have am and the next verb, it's going to be the drinking, right? Because you don't use those two together in any of the other tenses, only in present continuous. So I am drinking tea now. The second one says they to work every day. So would it be they goes, they went, they go, or they going? What do you think? So this one would be they go to work every day, because when it says every day, it's like a routine. So we have to use simple present. And when it's they, we don't use the S. So it would be they go to work every day. And the last exercise is my grandparents last weekend. Would it be I visited, or I visiting? Which one is it? So the answer would be visited. I visited my grandparents last weekend. Last weekend, it tells us that it was in the past. So we have to use simple past. I visited my grandparents last weekend. So that's it for this video. I hope that it helps you, and I think that's all. Bye. Take care.